Hey, welcome. Hold on, there we go. Welcome to the Dr. Jeff Experience. It is Open Talk Tuesday. I had a really good guest tonight, and he had an emergency, so we're going solo tonight, which is always fun because that gives me the opportunity to talk about what I want to talk about and what you want to talk about. So tonight, I want you to share with somebody. We want you to chime in. We see folks that my sister Pam is here. Hey, Pam, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. If you got some questions you want to ask me, you got some topics you want to talk about, feel free. I might talk about it. I might not. But there's certainly enough going on out here in this world that we can have a good time tonight. It's Open Talk Tuesday. So we're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. We're on who else? Well, we're on YouTube. We're on Instagram Live. So my Instagram audience, if you're, I see you over there, Singletary, Vance. Yeah, go ahead. If you got some questions, you want something you want to talk about, go ahead. I'm open to it. Let's get it out there. It's so much that's happening out there. I mean, man, the one thing I want to talk about is, boy, this doggone AFC and NFC playoff this Sunday. It was horrible for me. None of my teams won. I was rooting for Baltimore, and then I was rooting for the Big D. What up, though? All my Detroit people, what up, though? That's a deep Detroit thing. But I was looking for Baltimore to win, but you can't win football dropping passes. So that happened, and then emotional. It ended up being a thing of a thing of bad emotions. You got to be in control of your emotions. Yeah, Pam, let's talk politics. You know, I'm always open to that. I'm a political junkie. You know, I don't take sides, but I try to give points on both sides. Your team won. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You're chiming in. Okay. But let me say this. For Detroit, man, just a meltdown. I don't know what happened. Um, Came out kicking butt. That first and second quarter, man, third and fourth half, man, third and fourth quarters, the second half, it looked really bad. It really bad. It looked really bad. So now the big talk is about the conspiracy theories between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and what's the young lady's name? Um, I can't even think of her name, but Travis' girlfriend, Taylor Swift. Yeah, I don't want the Swifties to come after me. Taylor Swift. Man, I never seen anything like it. I really haven't. Never seen anything like it. But yeah, it's going to be another red Super Bowl. Kansas City and the San Francisco 49ers, man. Who would have ever thunk it? Patrick Mahomes came out and did his thing. They're trying to compare him now to the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. I don't think that. I don't think he's at that status, but he is good. I mean, it's a shame how they forget about some of the great quarterbacks that were out there. I mean, let's not forget Atlanta's own Cam Newton. Cam Newton, man, was a heck of a quarterback. Don't know what happened, but I sure miss him out there on the field. Randall Cunningham, way back when with the Philadelphia Eagles, he was one of my favorites. A good young man too. There's been some quarterbacks out there that we forget about. But anyway, it is what it is. We lost. Of course, all the talking heads on the sports shows are talking about can Lamar Jackson make it to the big show. He's good up until the big show. Can he make it? And they said he'll be one of the best quarterbacks to never make it to the big show, which is crazy in itself. And then you got these right-wing conspirators that are now saying that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, which they made the correction. It's not Travis Kelce, it's Travis Kelce. They say that they just got tired of correcting people. It's actually Travis Kelce. That's what the dad told him. It was Travis Kelce. That's how to pronounce the name appropriately. But now they're saying that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are conspiring to manipulate the Super Bowl so that Kansas City wins, and then it is a endorsement for Biden. How they got that, I don't know. They even putting together the amount of tour dates she had and Travis Kelce's number and how it compares to equal. It's like, hey, y'all got too much time. Seriously, you got too much time. So that's why I read books. And see, I've got a pile of books. My wife's gonna kill me because I keep books all over the place. Always reading on epigenetics and trauma. It's a great book. Teaches you about really how you can get rid of generational curses. How you can get rid of generational curses. You know, we always hear that term. You can get rid of generational curses, but you can. So I am a student of epigenetics. So I'm always reading something about epigenetics. Hey, Kiva, here's a great book. You see, I'm all over the place, okay? This is a great book. I read this book in one sitting. What's it? How many pages is this? 318 pages. I read this book in one day, 318 pages. I read this book in one day because I know most of the story. This is about Phil Leonetti and Nicky Scarfo and the whole Philadelphia crime stuff. Great read, great book. Wow. And then, of course, getting ready to do some speeches this month, February. I've been invited to speak in a couple of places. So talking about Black history and all of the things that Black people invented, which is a whole lot. This is a great book. I'm just diving into this. How Not to Die by Michael Greger, MD. How Not to Die. It also comes with a workbook. How Not to Die. And it teaches us. I was actually just reading about which type of protein is better for your kidneys and how not to die from kidney disease. Just a great book, really about plant-based eating, plant-based eating. I'll talk about that tonight too. A plant-based lifestyle. It's a great thing. You should try it. You should really try it. A plant-based lifestyle. So you see, I'm all over the place with my reading. Another book, really great book. This is a great book by Dave Asprey. If you get a chance, there is a documentary on Netflix, I think it is. I can't think of the name, but this is called Smarter, Not Harder. The Hacker's Guide to Getting the Body and Mind what you want. Yeah, what you want. The good thing about this book is it teaches you about how to hack your body. You know, like I'll exercise real hard for a little bit of time, and then I'll come and sit right down and relax. It's called the lazy way of being in shape. And then, of course, For the Love of Community. This is written by me, Meeting Needs, Solving Problems. I wrote this. This is my second book. I wrote this. It's available on Amazon. You can go to Amazon.com. And For the Love of Community, Meeting Needs, Solving Problems. And this deals with how to do community partnerships. And then what else? We got 40 ways to, also I wrote a book called 40 Ways to a Better You. So go on Amazon and pick that up. So we got something here. Do you think there are generational curses? Can you talk about more of that? Yeah. So let me talk about this generational curse thing. You'll often hear someone talk about generational curses. It's not so much a generational curse as it is what's handed down epigenetically over the years. And how that happens is the type of environment that people grew up in, the type of environment that people grew up in. So if you are subject to a home that is filled with domestic violence, poverty, that sort of thing, what happens is epigenetically, you are telling your brain tells your body, it reacts to that. And the epi, which is around the gene, it recognizes that sort of behavior. And genetically, you actually do what you're accustomed to being around. So that is a comfortable environment. Now, how you break generational curses is once you see that there's another way, you start putting yourself around that way that you want to be. I didn't have my dad in my house, so I didn't see a father-mother relationship. But I had uncles. I had uncles that were married, and I was able to glean towards them to get what I wanted. So it was instilled in me that this is how you are as a husband. This is how you are as a father. These are things. Now, it wasn't perfect, but that's what I saw. So even though I wasn't brought up around it, I went to someone and I saw other men in the neighborhood, in the community that were doing what I wanted to do. And so it was instilled in me of what it looks like to be a father, to be a husband, manhood stuff. So yeah, there is a thing of generational curses, but it affects the gene, and you can overcome that. You can break the curse. So now your mother or father may have been dysfunctional, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being dysfunctional. But you have to make some adjustments in your life in order so that you don't carry out the same type of behaviors. And you've got to instill those behaviors in your children because they inherit that gene. Um, it's the same thing. Epigenetics is dealing with environment. If you live in a cold environment, then you are used to it and you pass it down to your children. So you don't have to be a product of your environment. It's my sister from way back. You know, that's so funny. Sure, I'm glad you're listening. I was thinking about you earlier, and I was just thinking about some friends. Somebody commented, Tracy Sloan commented, and we were talking about old friends. And Sherry and I go back to probably kindergarten. Uh, 2 weeks ago, we had a show, and Simone was on, and she's another one. We go back. God, we got to be friends over 50 years. So good to have you. So yeah, that's the whole generational curse thing. Um, yeah, what's it say? It makes you realize when you get older, you want it to be better for your children. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You want to do better for your children. You want to do better for your children, and you don't have to be a product of your environment. You can change. You can change and break what's known as the generational curse. You can break that. So it actually affects your genetics or gene development. Absolutely. Absolutely. Through epigenetic study, through epigenetics, like I say, the epi is what is on top of the gene, and it kind of signals to the gene that you're comfortable to this. Just like certain foods, if I was, my mother used to always cook this blueberry cobbler with this biscuit topping, and I didn't want to eat it the first day. I wanted to eat it like the next day because it would soak. All that blueberry juice would soak into the crust, and it was so good when you warmed it up the next day. Um, and I've always had that, and I just learned that recipe. I just learned that recipe. Whew, I better stop talking about that because you see how excited I got because that the epi is signaling to my genes something that makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. Um, so it's signaling to my brain. Let me tell you something. This body, the way God created this body, it heals thyself. There was actually a book, and I got that book. It's called Heal Thyself. Um, you know, if we just do what God tells us and live off the earth, everything that we need to survive is right here. But that's a whole nother story for another day. He said, let's talk about real friendship that lasts forever. Hey, you know what? That's something good right there. Real friends. Let me tell you about real friends. Real friends, you don't have to call every day. I got friends that, and now it doesn't have to be a lot because a real friend will take up for a whole bunch of people. You might have a lot of acquaintances, but you don't have many real friends. You don't have any real friends. Probably got a handful or so. Um, but a real friend, you don't have to call every day. I got friends that I talk to maybe once a week, once a month. And when we talk, it's just like we talked yesterday. It's just like we talked yesterday. We just pick right up. And real friends, they know by the tone of your voice. They can just pick up when something is not right, or it's something that you need to talk about. And that's what I love about real friends. And you got to be careful nowadays of who you call friends, because everybody ain't your friends. Ooh, I'm sipping on some tea tonight. I got this chai tea with fresh ginger. Ooh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, so let me get to back to these statements. Okay. So it actually affects your genetics and gene development. That's it. That's it. Um, true. Don't have to be a product of your own environment. That's right. That's right. Make you realize when you get older, you want it to be better for your children. That's right. That's right. Is it something that you seek out? Friendship? Is it friendship? You know what? Friendship kind of grows on you. When I moved here, uh, there was a gentleman that I became friends with, and we just gel. We were just cool people. And I think what happens is a lot of times you grow up with people that you remain friends because you got some family ties. Like, for instance, Sherry's on here. Um, I mean, all these folks. Kiva, I've been knowing Kiva longer than I know my wife, and Kiva is my wife's best friend. And yeah, I mean, we've been knowing each other forever. Like I say, Sherry and Simone and some of the other people who often chime into the show. We've been in school together since we were in kindergarten. So, we just and our mothers were friends, our fathers were friends. We grew up in the same neighborhoods. Like my wife and my sister in law and my sister, they're all friends. So, but you could develop friendships outside of that. So I say it's like Jesus. Jesus had his disciples, but he had the innermost circle also. He had an inner and outermost circle. So you'll have friends, but then you have your inner core that you can depend on, you can share stuff with, and it's a safe place. Um, yeah, the real friend circle is small. Yeah, you just can't. Here's another one. All my sisters are chiming in tonight. Me. That's something that her and I share. I could be probably in the middle of Atlanta airport, and I could get on the speaker and say, I see you," and she'll know that's that doggone Jeff Fauntleroy. I know that, but I've been calling her that forever. Jamie, good to see you, my sister. There's another friend. I mean, and friends have that kind of relationship where you have sayings or you call them by certain names and only they recognize you. And again, even with Jamie, I mean, my family knows her family knows my family. We all grew up together, went to school together. So friendship is a good thing. And here's another sister. All my sisters are chiming in tonight. Maryland, for instance, uh, our family goes back probably 3 generations or more, and it's still happening. It's still happening. Um, so friend, but here's the important thing about that. When you have a friend, when you have relationships with other people who are not a part of your bloodline, but still considered family, you cherish that. And if you want it to work, you got to put some work into it. That means when they mourn, you mourn. When they're happy, you're happy. When they're sad, you sad. And you try to help one another. I come from a neighborhood, the west side, the best side, uh, where, we I can remember coming home from school and I mean Ms. Goodman would say, "Hey Jeff, come on in here, wash your hands. We're getting ready to eat." And I was like, "Okay, all right." Here's another one. Sister Susan. Susan, her mom, man, God, I miss her mom so much. I don't want to make her cry, so I won't start. But her mom was, I call her the dean of the West Side. Um, right up until her transition, she would call and I just say, just let her talk. And she told me so much about my family. I learned so much about my family because she was there, part of the family. And now, her daughter, and we're friends, and then Susan's daughters. I went out to California. They asked me to marry her. Flew out to California to conduct that wedding. Um, boy. So I see this is family night. This is family night. That ought to be the theme of tonight. This is family night. But friendship is there's a fraternity, and their motto is friendship is essential to the soul. And it really is, because you can be thinking about, there's times when I'm just thinking about somebody and I just say, you know what, let me give them a call. Let me just give them a call. Yeah, that's when we were raised by the village. Isn't that the truth? Oh, that's a piece of ginger. That's so bitter. But anyway, we were raised by a village. I tell people, I didn't know how poor I was until I started making money. Because poor back then was just economically poor, but we weren't poor in anything else, because it was nothing to eat at somebody's house. Like their parent knew that your mom was working late, and they just called you in and say, hey, come on in here, wash your hands and eat, and you ate, you stayed there, you did your homework, or you might even stayed overnight. You might even stayed over the night. I know there's many a house that I've stayed over people's houses. I ate there, and my youngest son, poor soul, he asked me all the time, Dad, how's that my cousin? How's that? How's it your aunt? How's that my aunt? How's that my uncle? I'm like, boy, don't ask no questions. It just is what it is. And so when I go home, you go on the west side, I'm related. That's my cousin. That's my cousin. That's my aunt. That's my uncle. But that's how we were raised. And the good thing is that all these folks that are chiming in tonight, all these people that are listening and saying something, all that I'm talking about, man, when we talk about epigenetics, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's ingrained in me, because that's how I was brought up. And some people find that strange when you try to do for them. And that's the crazy thing. That tears me up. When you try to do for people and you try to be nice to people and they take it for granted. And I'm like, wow, why did you do that? I was just trying to be nice. Because that's how you were brought up. And that's the innate part of you. That's what you know. That's embedded in you because you came up that way. But some people are like, I wasn't brought up that way, so stay away from it. It's like, all right, cool, no problem. So be it. I mean, but yeah, man, family, Susan's family, Sherry family. It's so crazy. Tracy Sloan. I mean, here's another. We've been in school since we were in kindergarten. Yeah, that's love does not discriminate. Everyone is your family. This must be my sister night. Where my brothers at? Dorella, we grew up together right across the street from each other. Let me tell you a quick story. God rest soul, my friend Craig, Dorella's brother who passed away. Sister Kathy, how you doing, baby? One Christmas, Dorella, I don't even know if you know this story. One Christmas, you had to go to bed early because the parents wanted to bring the toys in and put it on the tree. This and the other. Well, one Christmas, Craig's mom brought this purple mini bike to my house to hide it from Craig, and I saw it downstairs. I peeked downstairs and I saw this purple mini bike. Oh man, I went straight to bed, put the covers over my head, and was asleep. I couldn't hardly sleep. As soon as the sun cracked through the sky, I got up, went downstairs. It's like, where's the mini bike? Where's the mini bike? And I heard this mini bike outside, and I saw Craig riding it. I was like, why is Craig riding my mini bike? And lo and behold, it was his. They were just hiding it at my house. Man, let me tell you, I was some kind of upset. Darrell, I'll never forget that story. I don't even know if you know that story. But me and your mom laughed about it one time before. Oh boy, I was so upset about that. But yeah, it's real talk. I'm so glad that we were raised in that generation. We were raised in a city that enhance that type of lifestyle because um, I learned we went to a high school or actually junior high where it was integrated. And then we went to a high school that it was people from Ventnor, Margate, Longport, and a lot of them, their parents owned stores on what we call the north side or the black side of town. And our parents were friends with them, which broke down the racial lines for us. So we didn't have any real problems racially because we kind of knew the families. I can remember the Millers, Harry Miller's store. I can remember the grandson playing in the store, and I knew him, and he went on to have a shoe store. I think it was either Boston's or Cat Singers, one of those stores. But we knew each other because we all grew up together. I know some family members. It's just what it is. Anyway, yeah. And when you're exposed to that kind of love, it's eternalized. You pass it on. Absolutely, absolutely, man. I said I wouldn't trade it for anything. So when we went to high school, we hung out with people who had, you went down to Ventnor Margate and they had like mansions. You know what I mean? But it was no problem. It was no problem because we were all in class together. We all learned together. We graduated. I know. Matter of fact, let me tell you this. The reason I love what I do with this podcast and some of the other things that I do that have to do with media is I was introduced to media through one of my mentors, and God rest his soul. What a beautiful person. Those of you in Atlantic City know this name, Pinky Kravitz, Seymour Pinky Kravitz. Pinky Kravitz took me in early, and he saw something in me, and he was a radio show host on WOND 1400 radio. And man, my grandmother used to listen to him. All my aunts used to listen to him. Everybody listened to him. AM radio. That's why I still love talk radio to this day. But he took me in and taught me all about broadcast. He used to bring me to the studio and let me put in the commercials. That's when they had the like 8-track tapes. They used to put in the machine and run the commercials. And then he would let me talk on the radio. All right, my brother. Thank goodness, man. I'm glad to see you, Brother Howard, my man. The ladies were taking over, but it's all good. Anyway, Pinky Kravitz would let me sit in at the station. And finally, he said, listen, I'm going away. I need you to take the show for me. Bring in a guest and get some questions, and then the audience will participate. And, and this was drive time. Anybody who knows radio, 4 to 6 p.m. is primo time. Nobody gives that up. And let me tell you something. I fell in love with talk radio. I fell in love with talk radio. And I owe it all to my friend. I love him forever. I know all his family, Pinky Kravitz, Seymour Pinky Kravitz. Jeff and I were friends in school. He had a daughter that taught down on Richmond Avenue. She passed away. She was a great person, just a great soul. My sister, we stayed on the north side. We had no reason to go across Atlantic Avenue. And on Alice told me that because I couldn't understand why I didn't know about. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you something. It was tough for me to understand about racism because I knew everybody, white, black, we all got along, went to the beach together. We went to school together. Even, like the polarization of people who are gay, LGBT community, all that kind of stuff. I'm so glad that my mom exposed me to everybody and made me understand that everybody's human and you treat everybody as a human. Um, so I'm real glad of that, man. I'm real glad y'all chiming in tonight. Thank you so much. I was worried about where we were going to go. I had a great guest tonight, but you wait until next week. I don't know if any of you are familiar on Instagram. Um, there's a gentleman they call the White George. The White George. He is a Black history aficionado, and he's white. He's white, and we connected at the Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta when Howard lost to FAMU. That's a whole nother story for another time. But we connected, and he agreed to come on the show next week, and so we're looking forward to that. Yeah. We even took them to Franklinville with us on Sunday. That's, man. Let me tell you, Sherry. So my wife and I, we've started skating again, Sherry, and so many people on here know about Franklinville. Everybody knows about Franklinville. That was Sunday evening all the time. I never forget. I had a car. That my first car. It took more oil than it took gas going up to Franklinville, New Jersey, which was really the center point between Lang City and Philly. So people from Philly would come to Franklinville, and people from Lang City go to Franklinville. And then if you were good enough, you went to Elmwood in Philly to go skate. But yeah, so we were raised around everybody, and we were exposed to all different. we were all. That's so funny. We were all exposed to so many different people that now it's easy for us to get along with so many people because we just didn't have that. We lived in a short town. We went to the beach, hung out with family, friends, people from all walks of life. God, I can remember, man, me and Penny walking up to the boardwalk and the beach from it seemed like from 10 o'clock in the morning to like 5. It was all day. And you went on the boardwalk. I mean, you went on the beach. Of course, you went to Chicken Bowl Beach, and you were there, and you were there all day long. You had Mr. Green, Mr. Ralph Green, Dr. and then his son, Dr. Carrot. He had healthy snacks. That's when I started learning about healthy food. He had healthy sandwiches and juices. You had the ice cream man, that little short white guy. He had on had that big ice box, and he used to trudge through the sand. Fudgy wudgy, ice pops. Yeah, I remember all of that, man. Those were good times, man. Those were good times. It was good times, and I'm so glad that I was exposed to it. And yeah, so somebody was talking about politics. What can I say? It is what it is. Most of the folks that are on here now, they know a different side of Donald Trump. We had him in Atlantic City for a number of years, 3 different casinos. This Donald Trump, I didn't know that part. I know that a lot of us made a lot of money under Donald Trump. I know I did as a police officer. I used to work the ring at okay, so I won't get you started. He said, don't get me started. But I made a lot of money. I used to work the fights, and I worked the fights. I worked the corner, and we made a lot of money. We made a lot of money, to put it that way. But we had a lot of fun too. He had all the fights. He had all the events. But this politics now, I don't know where it's going. everything is so polarized, and I hate it. I hate to see them talking about people. My man Lionel, my partner from way back. Um, I I don't even know what to say because it's not even politics anymore. I mean, I grew up around politics. My mom was friends with a young lady who was a brilliant mind when it came to politics because of her father was a brilliant mind. Lillian Bryant, and her father, Dr. Horace Bryant, um, Elwood Davis, the Brandons, uh, Oscar Harris, all them guys. I came up around them doing politics, so I learned the politics game. And but man, this stuff that we call politics now, it's not even politics. It's racist, it's sexist, it's homophobic, it's just I don't know, man. It's horrible. I hate to see it. I hate to see the direction in which our country is going. That's why I'm glad to see you guys tonight, Tracy and Kiva and Susan and Marilyn and Kiva, Karen, my wife. Who else? Who else? Amy. Uh, yeah, brother Jerry Howard. Man, my prayers are still with you, man. On the loss of your sister, who was one of my sisters. Man, I can't forget when we talk about the beach, how it would be me and Penny and Vanessa and Helen, and we'd all be on the beach together, man, and just having a great time. Those were some of the best times of my life. I go home now and I almost cry. But the one thing I always do whenever I go home, I get a cheesesteak sub and I go straight to the boardwalk and eat it. I don't care how cold it is. I don't care how hot it is. I'll eat that sub and then I'll take my shoes and socks off and I will go to the beach and put my feet in that Atlantic Ocean and feel those waves going across my feet and ankles, man. Gosh, the greatest feeling ever. Greatest feeling. Do you know that many years ago, the entertainers used to come to Atlantic City and they would stay at the rooming houses on the north side and they had saltwater baths. In other words, people would take the salt water from the ocean, fill them up in tubs, and the entertainers believed that the salt water was medicinal. Did you know that? Got a little history tonight. Many of you know that. Sue, I know you know that. Uh, yeah, look, this crew, man, that's my wife's sisters and friends, and they'll be invading our space this summer again, and I'm glad to have them. Yeah, Gardner's Basin used to be so nice, um, so nice. But I just love the beach and the boardwalk. I can remember when I was younger, we got dressed up to go into the boardwalk. We got dressed up to go in the lag out. As a matter of fact, I got a beating one time because somebody called my mother and said that I was on Atlantic Avenue. And you didn't walk on Atlantic Avenue unless you were with somebody and you were shopping. Atlantic Avenue used to be an exclusive place. Um, yeah. Was a rooming house. Yeah. There it is. I mean, the beach was healing. My mother swore. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let me tell you something. Um, the first of all, rooming houses were where the stars stayed at when they came to the black stars, and even some of the white ones. My aunt Darcy used to tell me about a lot of the musicians who came to Atlantic City, performed at the 500 Club, Club Harlem, Wonder Gardens. They stayed at the rooming houses because they had the saltwater baths and they believed it was healing. And here it is. Jamie, I was not going to say. I'm going to keep that to ourselves. I'm not going to let anybody know about that. But yeah, she says her mother swore by it because it kept us. I mean, you look at some of the older people who were beach bums, even to this day. They go to Uptown Beach now, which I refuse to go to. I still stay at the Bone. It was healing. It was healing. Tell me about the Miss America parade. Wow, that was big. So it was a whole week. The parade was a culmination of that whole week. That was when you got to see all of the young ladies who were representatives of their state. And they started off with this thing called Show Me Your Shoes. Show Me Your Shoes. And of course, we had the Atlantic City High School band. And boy, let me tell you, they used to perform, man. Everybody wanted to see our band. And then we had the parade on the boardwalk. We saw all kinds of floats. To this day, I'm a parade junkie. I love to see a good parade. But the bar none, the Miss America pageant was the best parade we had. You got to see all of the executives of the town, but the main thing, you got to see all the beauty queens. And then, of course, you had the Miss America pageant at Convention Hall. So I'm going to bring back a memory for some of you guys now, since we went down memory lane. I didn't think we were going down here, but one of the best things that I remember about Convention Hall in Atlantic City was the cotillion. Thanksgiving was everything for me. Thanksgiving, you had the Atlantic City High School Holy Spirit game, and you knew you were going to see everybody. Everybody was coming home from college. Everybody was going to White House sub shop, get their subs. You used to be packed in there. I think more people were going there just to see everybody than they were ordering subs. And then you had the high school game, and then you had the cotillion. And man, let me tell you, that was when they had like 30 and 40 young ladies in the debutante cotillion. And, you know, they had the cotillion, and then afterwards you had your tables, you had your setups. And so that whole, around that Thanksgiving weekend, man, was just, man, some of my best memories. Seeing everybody, visiting people's homes. I can remember a lot of people used to come to my aunt's house, the house we called it. Matter of fact, Susan's mom, Aunt Alice, she grew up in that house. And man, it used to be so many people there. It used to be so many people there. Yeah, we dressed for the game back then. We dressed for the game back then. Matter of fact, Sherry, wasn't I in the cotillion? I was in the cotillion with you. I was in the cotillion with Sherry. I chaperoned Zia. Wow, that's so crazy. These ties, all these different ties. Sister Hope, good to see you. Dr. Hope. Yeah, those were the days, all that was preparing us for what we are today. Thank God. Yes, indeed. Those are great times. I never forget that. To this day, around Thanksgiving, I get excited because I knew that was family time, and I knew that family and friends were going to be in town. And on the west side, I mean, that was just, I ate at Miss Brown's house. So you went and sat down with Miss Brown and Rap and Hurlin and Clem, and then you went down to Miss Goodman's and you sat with Marilyn and Charlie and Ditchy and Gail and Penny, and who to this day, they all my sisters and brothers. Those were good times. Those were great times. They were great times. Dorella hung out with me when I was in Florida. She came down to the house and hung out with us. Yeah, sure. Our moms made sure we had to change because that was their dream. That's right. That's right. You know, even that little bad turn we might have had, we had to get back on board because our moms, our dads, our parents, they wanted best for me. Sister Tony, I see you here. So, oh man, listen, I'm so proud of your daughter. She's down here in the A doing her thing with her catering. And sometimes I go down to fellowship and see her down there, make sure she's good. And she's doing real well. Tony did a very good job. So good to see you. We're just reminiscing tonight and vibing. I mean, my God, man, we're almost out of time. We've been talking about Atlantic City and good times. Got all my friends and family on here tonight, helping me get through this. Brother Cornell, yeah, man, need that fellowship. And you know, here's the crazy thing about those times. It didn't cost anything. It didn't cost anything. We did what we did. Potluck was it. Um, I remember I felt so bad for my wife because Marilyn, Sherry, y'all, uh, when my wife and I were dating, and even when we got married, she couldn't understand, like, why are these people always at the house? Why are these people? Where are these people coming from? And why they always come over here? I was like, I don't know. That's just how it always was, you know. Everybody had a different house that was the safe place. Everybody had a safe place. I know if I went to Miss Burley's house, that was a safe place. I knew if I went to Miss Goodman's house, that was a safe place. If I went to Miss Brown's house, that was a safe place. I knew certain people were going to be there. My parents were good with their parents, and it was a safe place. But you know, here's the thing that gets me sometimes, and I wonder if we really did the right thing sometimes. Yeah, my wife said she got used to it real quick. Um, yes, so and and you were treated like one of the kids. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I was making a joke earlier that I've got people who I call my sisters, my cousins, my brother, and my son is like, how are they related to me? I'm like, I don't know. Don't ask questions. Just that's your aunt, that's your uncle, that's your cousin. That's it. Uh, because we go back 3 or 4 generations. Um, but yeah, we went to people's houses and we watched TV. We did homework together because we were in the same age bracket. Um, they watched out for us. And here's what I like. Here's what I like coming up. The old heads, the guys, they would be doing what they were doing, but they wouldn't allow you to do it if you were younger. I can remember some of the guys, Gary Core and Victor and Chipwood, Ellsworth, all them guys. They might have been doing what you were doing. I mean, what they were doing, but you could not do it. You could not do it. You could not do it. They would send you home. Yeah, I get it all the time from my kids. How are we related? I don't know. Don't ask questions. Just we are. Respect it. It is what it is. Um, yeah, but my wife, she got used to it. Now she knows that, one of the things my mother used to always say, she used to cook so much. And Penny and I were just talking about this. My mother would always say, I said, Mom, why are you cooking so much? Because you just in case, you never know. And sure enough, somebody would come past. Yeah, that's it. They told you that was grown folk business. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Now, I don't want to get messy, but some of that stuff, one of the things I learned as a detective, old head taught me this. An old head taught me this as a detective. Said, man, read the obituaries in the press, in Langston Press. Said, read the obituaries. You'll learn who's related to who and how they related. And boy, let me tell you something. I used to read the obituaries and I look and I go, what? Oh, okay. That's why they so close. But that's another story for another day. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. That's it. My mother used to always say, listen, I'm cooking more because you don't never know. Somebody's coming past. And somebody always came past. We always made sure we had food. But yeah, those obituaries, man, I still read them to this day. And when I read I read the worry at the Baltic Clinic. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I would read those obituaries even now, and I look and I say, "Oh, all that time. Hmm. I wonder if they knew they were." Let me have some more tea. Anyway, listen, I gave you some good books to read. You know, I'm on this plant-based diet kick. Food was always healing and comfort. Um, Man, somebody passed away. You know, take some food over so and so's house. Yes, ma'am. Take this food over so and so's house. Yes, ma'am. And I grew up. Dorella knows this. I grew up in a neighborhood where your mother would say, "Hey, go down to so and so's house and get 2 pieces of bread," asking you borrow 2 pieces of bread, 2 hot dogs, some mustard. Like, what are we going shopping? I ain't say nothing. Um, I remember one young lady, I won't call her name, but I teased her in person. She came to the house one time. She said, uh, my mother want to know, can she get 4 slices of bread, some hot dogs, some ketchup, and do you have any mustard? I'm like, what are you shopping? But that's what we did. We lived in the neighborhood. We shared. We shared with one another. Walked in town and got that big green box of cheese, U.S. government cheese. Came home and cut it up, gave it to some of the neighbors. It was crazy. But look, real quick. So I want you guys to check out, man, this plant-based diet stuff. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet. You will feel so good. Yeah, can I get some sugar? Oh, God, how many times we borrow sugar from each other? Woo. This plant-based diet. There won't no sugar now. No, stay away from sugar. Like tonight, I tell you what I did tonight. Tonight, I took mushrooms, I took cashews, fresh cashews, and I put it in water and soaked them for a little bit. And then I put the cashews in the blender with half squeezed lemon, um, I roasted some garlic and squeezed the garlic cloves into the blender, blended that all up, and then I sauteed some spinach and shiitake mushrooms. Um, and then once the pasta was done, I put that over pasta. I'm sorry. So once the pasta was done, I saved about 3 cupfuls of the pasta water. And once the cashews and stuff were blended up real well, I put it in a saucepan and stirred it until it thickened up. And then put that on top of the mushrooms and spinach along with the pasta. Cool. Primo, I'm telling you, primo, good stuff. Really good stuff. So check out this plant-based life. I think a lot of you will enjoy it. Again, check out if you get a opportunity, check out this book, How Not to Die. It's all about plant-based living. Here's another book that I want to tell you about, Smarter Not Harder by Dave Asprey. And of course, make sure you buy my book, For the Love of Community, Meeting Needs and Solving Problems. It's available on Amazon. It's an easy read. It's only 100 and some pages. And it also comes with a cookbook, How Not to Die cookbook. It's all about plant-based living. Let me tell you something. You'll feel so good. You'll have so much energy. And then this summer, guys, is your next book going to be a cookbook with recipes. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on that, Marilyn. I'm getting there. Cheese is my weakness. That's funny. But this summer, we're going to challenge you. I'm going to take you through the process of my garden, and we'll be showing you my garden. My peach trees are growing out of this world. My apple tree, my plum tree, my pear tree. I got grapes. We're gonna have olives soon. I'll be making my own olive oil. So I'm going to take you on that adventure this summer. So stay with us again. Let me see something. I want to see if I can show you real quick before you leave. I want to show you something. I can't do it, doggone. But anyway, if you go on Instagram and check out the White George, it's THE. Here, let me put it in. Let me put it in the banner. I want you to check this out on Instagram. He's going to be our guest next week. Hold on. Doing this for myself tonight. Check him out. Check him out on Instagram. We're gonna have him on next week, and my wife, we're gonna have chicken and hogs. No, we not either. We will have chickens though. Good evening, my brother. Yes, Sister Courtney, how you doing? Great to have you. Keep it when you stop laughing at us. But yeah, check out on Instagram the White George. He's going to be on with us next week when we're talking about Black History. We're kicking off Black History Month, and man, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time. Listen, guys, it is 8:00. That time flew by. I am so thankful for all of you who have joined in to make this evening a fun, reminiscent evening. All my sisters who joined in, this was, you took me back. I almost got tears in my eyes from all the great times. And okay, here we go. Oh, we need more. Yeah, we do. We'll do this again. We'll do this every month. We'll have one month of what I call it Open Talk Tuesday. But here you go. Before you close, who's your Super Bowl pick? Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go with San Fran only because Kansas City. Okay, Sue. I'm gonna go with San Fran only because I'm tired of seeing and I ain't hating Swifties, don't come after me, but I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift. I'm tired of it. Just tired of it. Go sing and let us play Super Bowl. Let us play football. So I'm going with them. Yeah, come back Tuesday. We got a great show. It's going to be great. Again, I thank you all. And you know what I always say? Go out, meet needs, solve problems, trust God, even when you don't see God. God knows. God bless you. I love you always. Take care of yourself. Peace.